Seriously, what is up, guys? Chasta and Baby Huey. We are clearly live out backstage at Shoreline with the legendary bassist from Five Finger Death Punch, Mr. Chris Kael.
Hey.
And the most legendary situation.
Yeah, you said legendary bassist. I was like, I don't know, but the beard.
You're like, I'll take that.
That can't be argued.
With the hair flip.
I am so jealous for everyone who knows, because I've been at the Bone 19 years. For the longest time, everyone makes fun of me. I can't grow facial hair.
Well,
Just move down.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I just turned 40 last year, and I'm still waiting to hit puberty to grow a beard or something.
Yep.
So I'm super jealous of just the masculine look that you have.
I was the kid in junior high with the goatee. That was me.
Were you really?
Absolutely,
Oh.
yeah. I remember having to first start shaving like the mustache in 6th grade.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
I started shaving when I was a freshman in college.
There we go.
We got both ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
So we're so excited to be here. I mean, Five Finger Death Punch, we play the absolute crap out of you on our show Bone Breakers and have been the whole run of it. And we love everything that you guys do. I mean, we do have a connection, Scott Proctor, who, full disclosure, is a dear friend of ours. You've heard us talk about him many times on the air. But you got him the gig, right? That's so freaking cool.
It's funny, too, because the reason I got him the gig is here today as well. Rob Flynn from Machine Head.
Yes.
We did the Mayhem tour. And Scott would always be so hospitable. I would always go over to see Machine Head, and he'd always have a water there for me. He asked, give me the spot to be able to watch and whatnot. And I remember, I don't even know how I got in the gig, honestly. I just remember, I think they were talking about needing somebody to for his position.
Yeah.
And I was just, check with this guy.
He's it's a shocking thing, but he's a classy bitch. That
Absolutely.
One. So we love him so much.
Yeah, and a good old boy from West by God, Virginia.
That's right.
Yeah, with my southern roots.
I was
it's
gonna
good
say,
to have him up here. Somebody nice and polite, because it's not very plentiful here in rock and roll.
That is true. You know what? Let's start there, because you are from Kentucky.
I am.
I'm from Southern Oklahoma. I love that you and I have tiny similarities in our story, coming from that part of the world and heading west. Indeed. I ended up in LA, where you were gonna go, but you got diverted to Vegas. Tell us kind of about that.
I had a couple of higher IQ points, so instead of going to Los Angeles, I ended up in Vegas.
I know. I missed out on that one for sure.
Yeah. No, I had flown out to Vegas with the intent of looking at Los Angeles to move.
Yeah.
Get out to LA, and I didn't really care for just the traffic. That was the big thing. I do not do well in traffic, and I would probably not be here.
Yeah.
Nor would have several other cars driving by.
Yeah.
Because that's how I behave in traffic still today. Did a lot of work, but that one's still the one that I have to work on.
Yep.
But yeah, I got out there and I was like, I'm gonna have to work all the time to be able to chase the music dream. If I moved to Vegas, I was a bartender already. I was like, I can work as a bartender in Vegas, make good money, do auditions, and it turned out good because Death Punch had left Los Angeles, moved to Vegas, which is where they find me. So it was all part of the plan.
Universal shit.
Absolutely.
Like, that's like lightning in a bottle, meant to be. I mean, it's incredible. I personally know your story, how you got into Five Finger Death Punch, but I do want you to tell it, because it's really cool and inspirational, and also very ballsy.
Is this the one where I direct message?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I had found out that they were looking for a bassist in December of 2010. Vegas is, a big city, but small circle
world.
Musically. Yeah. So I heard that they were looking for a bassist. At that point, a good friend of mine from Kentucky, a guy named Saul, was Jeremy's drum tech. Jeremy was our drummer back then. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, get me an audition. He's like, I don't know, they're looking for a name, for press purposes and whatnot. You've done some stuff, but they're looking for, somebody that's good for press.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, just get me an audition. That's all I'm after. That was December. May rolled around, and I didn't realize that they were going to record American Capitalist and then find a bass player at the end of that recording cycle. So it got to be May, and I hadn't heard anything. I'm like, they already got somebody, So I put my basses on Craigslist, had my amps on Craigslist, getting ready to sell everything. I did sell like a Mesa Boogie amp that I had, and I think a bass guitar too. I was making good money at the Cosmopolitan, which is where I was working at that point. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put all my efforts towards. I want to build a 6 or 8 room beachfront hotel with like a small beach bar, bust my ass in Vegas for 10 years and then move out there and do that.
Yeah, and you were going to do that in Mexico?
Yeah, Mexico.
I mean, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah.
You know, that's a retirement plan still, I think.
Yeah, it's still on the books.
Yeah,
That may happen at some point.
That's a good
idea. But one night I went to go see System of a Down at the Palms, and I used to always do this thing where I would look at the band and then look at the crowd and be like, oh, someday that crowd's going to be mine. That night the universe was like, you've been trying to go through mutual friends, but you haven't gone directly after this. Anything you've gone after that you've wanted, you've gotten it, but you haven't gone after this. So that night I slid into Jason Hook's DMs.
I freaking love that.
Yep, and he responded back, and I had the gig 2 weeks later.
I mean,
what?
Yeah.
That's
go
incredible.
after your dreams, kids.
Nobody is going to give it to you. You got to go get it.
You got to go
Yeah.
take it.
I remember my message was, hey, I hear you're looking for a bass player. Look no further. This is back when I was still drinking, so I was very liquid courage at that point.
That was like the one arena it helped.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It gave me that fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, look no further. I'm your guy. Check our mutual friends. I'm sure they'll all give me a positive recommendation. Mm-hmm. All I'm looking for is an audition.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like it. Very forward, but I like it.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
That's
I knew
awesome.
you'd love that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's really awesome.
Did I tell you the story about what spawned me trying so damn hard?
No.
This is gonna
Okay.
This is going to be a new exclusive for you guys.
Oh,
Okay.
oh yes, we love an exclusive.
And this is all part of my comedy routine. This is the only reason I'm telling it.
we were going to bring
So,
that up.
Yeah, I tell the story in the my stand-up routine too.
Okay.
So there's times in life where an event happens that changes the course and direction of your life. This right here is why I'm in Death Punch. So I was working at the Hard Rock Cafe as a bartender.
Yeah.
The old bass player Matt came in with you heard this one?
No, that's what Craig Gass texted me. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So the old bass player came in to the Hard Rock with our old security Case, who I knew. They're sitting at the bar. I was waiting tables that night. And the cocktail waitress walks up and says hi to Matt, the old bass player, and comes back. I'm like, oh, you know the guy at the bar? She's like, yes, Matt. He's my neighbor. He's also in Death Punch. I had a big beard, about to my middle of my chest at that point. He also had a big, long beard. So I figured I'd make a beard joke, break the ice, and go say hi. Mm-hmm. So I told her, tell him he's in the big boy beard section, and the little boy beard section is over there. Figured he'd get a chuckle out of it.
Yep.
He did not.
Oh, no.
He did not. She comes back over to me and she goes, this is where you zoom into. She goes, I don't know how to tell you this, but he said he's a rock star and you're still waiting tables.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
Holy shit.
Oh, I was like, you got me. I got no comeback. It's true.
Oh.
It's true. So that was October of 2010. December 26th, 2010.
Oh.
I heard that he was no longer with Death Punch.
Oh, karma is
And
a
I'm not
bitch.
sure if I'm able to cuss on here, but my exact words were, fuck that motherfucker. I'm taking his job.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got that
dude,
was thank you.
that's
That is
very good.
and,
That's
like,
called instant karma is what that is.
And it's just a reminder to always be nice.
Don't be a
Because
douche.
you never know.
Don't be a dick.
You never know who's going to be taking your fucking job.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I did not know that
Yeah.
story.
But him and I have talked since then. And Case, the old security guard, was like, dude, do you know what you said to him that night? He said, man, just tell him I'm sorry. You know, I was an asshole back then. And it's all water under the bridge.
Okay,
but,
good.
Yeah.
All right.
I would not have gone after this nearly as hard had he not been a dick that night.
He was the fire under your ass.
That was actually it. Yeah. That
and
changed
sometimes
the
you
direction.
need that.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, I'll try or whatever.
Right.
I wanted it just for the story alone.
Yeah.
I didn't give a damn about anything else. I want that story.
Just to be able to sit here with us
Yep.
today.
And
tell
here you
us
are,
about it.
exclusive.
Well, that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we were talking off the air, so besides Scott Proctor, another mutual friend of us is comedian Craig Gass, legendary comedian.
I mean, friend. We'll use that loosely.
Yeah.
But
True
so
that.
yes, I was texting him on the way down. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna talk to Chris. You got any questions for me? He's like, oh, he's one of my best friends
Oh,
here.
yeah. I do love him. Yeah, he's
And
great.
then,
He really is such a great human.
Yeah, so I'm looking up. Let's see, where is he at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, about the bassist, that story.
That's a great
But he was
story.
telling me, you love stand-up comedy. So
Yeah.
you were saying you're getting into that now.
Yeah. So I started sometime. I did one show with Craig actually. This thing
Okay.
called Punchlines and Backline.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And then just slowly I started getting more into it. It was the pandemic really, what really did it for me.
Okay.
And then one day I went to go see Dave Chappelle at the MGM Grand. I'm a huge stand-up fan. Like, I probably listen to more podcasts than music these days.
Yeah.
I just love the whole thing. I love the expression. I love being able to talk about what you want to talk about, making people laugh. Much like the camera, when I was saying there's no camera that I don't love and no camera that doesn't love me.
Yeah.
Same for a stage.
Yeah.
Just get me on there, let me go. I love it.
Wow.
So I was watching Dave Chappelle had the Roots opening up for him. I'm like, oh man, this is cool. Like I do this. This is nice. Up there watching the band interact with one another in the middle of MGM Grand, 25,000 people with the band in the center of the stage. I'm like, yeah, I do this. And then Dave comes out. One man, one mic, holding the attention of 25,000 people. I'm like, I can do the other thing.
Yep.
Can I do that?
Oh.
So it's just a new challenge. Being in rock and roll, I got some unique stories.
Yeah.
I always like sharing like behind the scenes stuff with the fans, letting them see what it's really like out here. And there's some unique stories like, a couple that I told you there.
So is it kind of like a one-man show you're kind of putting together?
I'm not a true stand-up.
Yep.
It's that's many years in the making. I'm a fan of stand-up, but I wouldn't call myself a comic just yet. It's something I'm working on. I'm coming up with punchlines. I'm basically storytelling with punch-ups.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. But now I'm finding bits just in day-to-day life and it's starting to come to me. I'm really enjoying the process of writing stuff now.
So Craig wanted me to ask you, he says, ask him about his attempt to fight a guy in a ring or a cage and he was not prepared to fight.
Yes.
Is that story?
Yeah.
Could be.
Craig, I thought we were friends. You're giving away my entire
He's running
act.
all your bit.
Yeah.
No,
I got
this
like
is
15 minutes of strong material. Yeah.
This is just advertisement for your comedy show.
Yeah.
That's all this is now,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, so I originally, long before Death Punch, I thought I wanted to be an MMA fighter.
Okay. Holy shit.
My record is 0-1, and it's going to stay that way. Yeah, but you'll have to come out to one of the stand-up shows to hear that full story.
Okay,
That-
cool.
that
Good,
is
good.
fair. You
Yeah,
gotta
Good
keep-
tease right there.
Gotta keep something.
It essentially comes down to, I had been training Muay Thai for like 4 years at that point.
Yeah.
This kid had been Brazilian his entire life.
Oh, and Muay Thai is a whole nother beast. That is a
Yeah,
you do
and
not-
I was 34 fighting my first fight against a 21-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good story. It's a good story.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a good start at all.
Yeah.
So speaking of working out, because
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wondered, and I don't know if I've ever asked, for whatever reason, I've never asked a rock star this, about being on the road. Like you wake up every day, you're in a new city. How do you keep yourself healthy? And you've made a huge transition the last several years with being sober.
Oh, yeah.
And that's big.
Yep.
But like, what's your regimen? Like when you wake up, like do you set an alarm? Do you do something? Do you like meditate? What do you do?
One of the best things about this job is I rarely have to set an alarm.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
You know
We
what
get
I
up
do
at
have to
4
set an
a.m.
alarm?
What?
I have to set an alarm because I take a 30-minute nap before I go on stage.
That's fantastic. That's the life, kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, obviously sober for a while now. Start my day off with the gratitude list.
Yep. Great.
I do meetings out here as well.
Okay.
Just hosted backstage meetings.
Yeah.
Other people that are sober out here are able to come back.
That's great.
Get a meeting. That way you got like-minded people around you.
Smart.
Yeah.
Super smart.
It's just it's nice to have a road home group that you can
Yeah.
connect with and talk about stuff that other people just don't understand.
Yeah.
So that's nice to have that connection. So yeah, just taking care of myself there. I usually do 30 minutes before we go on. Well, an hour before we go on, I take a nap from 8:30 to about 9. I come in here. I got weights out in my wardrobe case, so I get a little get the ego muscles
Yes.
pumped up and whatnot.
Yep. For all those
and then-
photos, they're like all the veins are ripping out. Yeah, I get you.
Got to be full Viking up there,
Yeah.
So, a little bit of that. I do some yoga.
Yeah.
I basically lift really heavy when I'm at home,
Yeah.
get big, and then I kind of tighten up on the road.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I just had a 550-pound deadlift.
Did you really?
Yeah, I knocked that out
I
before I
got
left.
to 205 this year.
There we go,
I was
girl.
pretty
Very
proud of
nice.
myself.
I like it.
It's no joke.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
550.
550 pounds.
550. That is nutty.
Yeah.
Do you compete in deadlifting?
I've already won.
No.
Yeah, I mean, come on, girl. There's no competition anymore. I compete with myself.
I love
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you should compete. 550 is no joke. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I want to hit 600 over the next break.
That's great.
That's my goal.
You got this.
Yeah. My goal was originally I wanted to hit a 500-pound deadlift. In my 50th year, I turned 50 in May.
Okay.
And hit the 550 mark 2 weeks before I turned 50.
F
so yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and the
Only
only reason
50 more pounds.
Only
What's
reason
that?
I didn't get 600 is because that's all I could fit on the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a flex.
The
That
the
is-
gym had to buy another bar because of me.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Randy Couture.
That is a flex. Wow.
So one thing about Chasta and I were talking before we met up with you was like the thing I love about Five Finger Death Punch. You guys have a unique sound.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear your song come on the radio or wherever, you know it's a Five Finger Death Punch song.
Yeah.
With that being said, you guys are now up to 9 albums.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about creativity a lot, and Chasta jump in with the strut stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just for us, we were wondering, how do you keep things fresh as far as maintaining the sound of Five Finger Death Punch, but at the same time pushing yourself, guys, to push the boundaries and keep it fresh and unique? And because we were talking a lot about creativity recently.
Yeah, so we were talking with Jed from the Struts, and he's very into self-care and books and thinking about creativity as an entity. There's a book that was written in it, and it talks about creativity as an entity that sort of moves through time and space. And if you don't grab an idea, like if an idea comes to you and you don't grab it, it will move on to the next person who will recognize
100%.
it. Do you believe that? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. There's so many riffs that I woke up in the middle of the night going, oh, that's pretty good. I'll write it down when I get up in the morning.
And then it's gone.
When the pandemic happened,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of bed, going straight downstairs, writing it on the guitar. I don't know even how many riffs I have in my phone right now.
Yeah.
But I would just record them, audio on the phone, make sure that I had it.
Yeah.
And tons of songs written over the pandemic that I would have lost had I not just gotten out of bed.
Yeah.
And I'd done that for many, many years, and finally it's just like, you work an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Keeping it real.
Yeah. I'm like, get up. Yeah. What are you staying in bed for? Yeah.
So for you, when you're writing, then you're like, okay, I gotta write a Five Finger Death Punch song, but you're like, how do you keep it fresh and be like, I want to do something a little bit different, so you guys are not just doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could probably speak a little bit for Zoltan.
Okay.
I think it just comes down to writing for you.
Okay.
We're lucky that when he first started writing stuff way back on Way of the Fist, that stuff began resonating with people.
Okay.
But he wasn't writing it for other people, just writing it for himself, and just like, hey, this is something I'm proud of, that I enjoy. Throw it out there, because if you try to chase something, you're not going to catch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you just
not authentic.
If you just do, exactly. If you just do what you do naturally, that's going to resonate with people more. That I need to write this type of song. Sometimes you'll have a record that you're writing, and you'll need a little something, and you kind of know what you need in there, but you're not writing it for anybody else other than, I know that I need this for this record to be complete. That would be about the only time that you're like, okay, I need to try to do something here. But most of the time, like you were talking about, ideas are out there, and when the universe opens it up, you better capture that, because it's going to go to somebody else. You ain't never getting another chance to capture that moment. So capture every single moment. That goes with music. That goes with interactions here. Everything. Be aware. Be present. Know when doors are being opened by the universe. Go through that door, because even if that's not the right door for you, it's going to lead you to another direction that you wouldn't have even known had you not just listened and taken the chance.
Couldn't agree more. And then work your ass off. And I have to say, that's something that's so impressive about you. And I've seen Zoltan talk about that many times, about the work ethic, and he's like, from where he comes from, he's like, I always feel like if I'm not working, something's going to get taken away from me, which is understandable. But you have this whole crazy side hustle on chriskael.com. You're selling all kinds of the bass packages. Yes. Do I need to give a Chris Kael,
No, that was good.
Okay,
that was good. Yeah, I got it for you.
But you're doing something really special, and I want to go back to inside the pandemic. I remember this is so crazy. You were doing these bass packages, and you were hand delivering these basses to people who were buying them. You were getting in your car or getting on a plane and driving them and delivering them. I can't imagine Chris Kael shows up to my house here's your bass. It's like Amazon Kael.
Which is exactly why I do that stuff. I'm always looking for stuff that's I'm very, very aware of the fan experience. That probably comes from having bartended, having worked real jobs for so long.
Which
having,
is 15
having
years
this
ago, you
hit
were
it.
a bartender.
Oh, yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I mean,
It hit at 36 for me.
Yeah.
So I know what real work is, and I'm not that far away from having to. I still bust my ass, I guess. But, yeah, I really was struggling, so many times just like, not knowing if I put gas on the debit card, am I going to pay for gas and overdraft fees?
Yeah, that's so real.
Yeah,
so many people feel that right
I just
now.
know a lot of people are still out there, and I have the opportunity to provide new experiences. And I'm, again, talking about the opening doors. I look for things that nobody else is going to do.
Yeah.
That whole thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
The pandemic happened. I think I'd sold 13 bases for a tour that was coming up as us and Papa Roach at that point.
Yeah.
And I had just kicked my girlfriend out of the house on a Sunday. Monday morning, I wake up. That tour had been canceled. I didn't know it was going to be canceled because I play bass. So at that point, I was like, you know what? The hell with this. The pandemic was happening. I just kicked my girlfriend out. Now I'm gonna have to give refund on 13 bases.
Oof.
And I was just like,
no,
I'm not. This
No.
something's gonna happen. So that day I went on. Who we got? Hey, speaking of girlfriends,
Come in.
yeah. So that day I was like, I got on to Instagram, Facebook, all that. I was like, the bases that are up right now, you're going to want to grab them because they're going to sell out. Big announcement coming on Friday. I had made the decision to, rather than trying to give back refunds on 13 bases, I was like, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going to hop on these planes, hand deliver it to people, turn it in. I called it the Chris Kael's cure for COVID.
I love it. That's so great.
Ain't nobody got COVID anymore, so it must have worked.
Right? It did. It did. Look at that.
So,
we appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Doing my thing. But no, that was the thing is like, I needed it as much as they did because we had no touring going on. I didn't know when touring was going to happen.
Yeah.
No social interaction because I'm just like, I'm not working or anything. I get my social interaction from being out here for the most part.
Right.
And it just turned into something that was wonderful. I was going to try to do it all in one fell swoop. I was going to just get an RV and film it and like do the whole delivery thing.
Yeah.
And then I did, I think, 6 in California up into Washington, Oregon. And I was like, I need to break this up.
It's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot.
I can't do this myself. This
you
sucks.
were doing on a whole tour by yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. So then I broke it up, and the fans were like, thank you so much for doing this. It gave us something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because there were no shows, nothing else going on, and I needed it too.
Yeah.
Because I was going crazy in my mind, and it kind of helped bring me back. And once I got back, I started writing a whole lot too. So yeah.
But still now to this day, like you're giving people something to look forward to and an experience that most people will never get to have, to meet a rock star and have a piece of that, your vest or the guitar or the, the Kael Army wristband, like all those things. Mm-hmm. I think it's really special what you're doing.
That all comes from...
And I know you're making money, like, let's be real, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool, the connection piece.
Yeah, there will never be a time where I'm selling something that I don't stand behind.
Exactly.
Just to put make money, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm able to do this authentically.
Yeah. And meet these people.
Yeah. And I've always been Mr. Social. Even, like, back in first grade, I remember my report card, Miss Tuttle wrote in there, Chris is a natural born leader. People naturally gravitate towards him, even in first grade. So that's I've always been Mr. Talkative.
Yeah.
A lot of charisma, no fear of speaking ever.
You gave Bert Kreischer one of your vests, right?
I did, yeah. Actually,
cool.
technically,
So cool.
I gave it to his daughter, Isla.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, through Craig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It all comes back to Craig.
Yeah, everything comes back through Craig. Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
That's a ton of stories. Well, one thing that was really cool was, Afterlife, the deluxe edition, out now. Go check it out.
Yep.
The song with DMX.
Oh, yeah.
Got to talk about that. Just I know you guys talked a lot about just the whole process and it was a long time trying to get on the same page scheduling. Unfortunately, he passed. You got the masters to put the song together. Just, from your guys' perspective, why was it so important to do this song with DMX?
It really it all came into line for me when we were doing the video with Hype Williams.
Yes.
Because Hype Williams is a good friend of DMX. Even he's like, how did you guys get to do this song? And that's all outside of the scope of my, I play bass. I don't know. Yeah.
Zoltan talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
process.
So go back, watch those videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about how cool it was when Hype was like, dude, DMX would have loved to be in here. He would have been over on the side, getting everybody amped up, just going crazy. And you could feel that presence with Hype being there.
Yeah.
He was really wanting to bring that out. And, man, I'm not a huge hip hop guy, but DMX was a big guy for me.
Yeah.
I just love. I think I like hardcore metal and then like gangster type rap. That's the type of stuff.
Yeah.
The hard edge stuff. And I love yell rapping.
Yeah.
I love comedians that yell.
Yeah.
She'll tell you. Anything that yells, I love it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of yelling and last couple of years, man, you guys been playing with Metallica.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are, the Bay Area's rock station, so we are Metallica.
They're basically our house band.
Metallica's hometown radio
that's
station.
the best house band for sure.
Yeah.
So going back to creativity, I'm sure creativity, inspiration, it must have been just amazing experience to tour with Metallica, watching them every night, just that 2 years of being with them. Do you get a lot of time with them? And just for you, and how's that apply to your career, just being with Metallica?
Well, I tell you, the coolest thing about that whole thing is James Hetfield knows my name.
Yes!
He knows my name. I mean, like Metallica so cool. was huge influence for me growing up. Cliff Burton's still my favorite bassist.
Oh, yeah.
I sing because of James Hetfield. I was listening to, all the 80s hair metal stuff, so, Motley Crue, Skid Row, and that's all a real high register, and I'm like, I can't.
Right.
I got nothing there. And then I heard James, I'm like,
I can do that.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And he's the reason I play my bass so damn low.
Now, have you told him personally all that? Does he know that,
no,
or is that awkward?
I'm trying to keep it cool.
He's playing it cool. All
But,
right,
James is cool, man. He takes bathroom pictures like this with me.
You're one of those guys.
And I took that picture. I'm
Nice.
in the boys' bathroom with the two of them. He's very cool.
That's
but
funny.
you got to keep a certain amount of cool. I would assume.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it old hat yet? Like just hanging out with them?
No, none of this is. I'm lucky that. There are days when this isn't enough. But I pull myself back. Like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You used to be in the service well at the Hard Rock and hated that.
Yeah.
You were just mad, listening to crazy heavy stuff just to keep everybody away, to get you out of your bad mood.
Yeah.
And now we got Marilyn Manson out here with us right now, doing shows with Metallica, traveled all around the world. The platform that we've got allows me to do the other things that I do, whether it's, fan interactions with the bass packages, the vests.
Yeah.
Any of the charity work that we get to do, the comedy stuff. I got to be in the movie The Retaliators. I had to stretch a little bit on that because I had to get out of my comfort zone. I played a biker enforcer.
That's pretty rough. That Oscar-winning stuff.
Yes, it took me a while.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
I had to really dig deep. So it's all, always chance for growth,
Yeah.
But just being able and just watching the Metallica machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
If you could get back there and see the number of cases that they have, I'm like, who organizes this? It's incredible. It's a whole city that they bring in, put it into that stadium, and then they take it back out. It's incredible. Yeah. But finding inspiration in those dudes too, for them to be so involved in the fan experience, like I like to do as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's they're on top of all the meet and greets and different areas in the stadium for different packages and different fan experiences. It's
they're humble as hell.
Absolutely.
Somehow they have kept that.
They're willing to take bathroom photos with me.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty humble in that sense.
Yeah.
You notice I closed the door before I
know.
Yeah.
Yes. He'll sneak in there. You gotta watch it.
You gotta subscribe to my OnlyFans for that.
It's a totally different package.
Literally a different package.
That's what she said. Going back to what you were just saying, though, like keeping it in perspective, I always tell myself, like, everything I used to hope for is what I have now, right? Like, you used to, 15, 20 years ago, you were praying for this, you were manifesting this, you were thinking of this, and so it, like, helps you, like, okay, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing.
And also, just to be able to be the soundtrack that helps other people get through their daily stuff.
Yeah.
I've been listening to, music as long as I remember. It's the one thing that Rick Springfield of all people. Yeah, Jesse's Girl. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Yeah, that and the Monkees, stuff that my mom was playing back then.
That's cute.
What was that song? Minor Threat covered it, but I can't think what it is. Stepping Stone.
Yeah.
My mom had that 45, and I think that's
so
the first
cool.
one that stuck with me. And then the first one I ever bought was Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now here you are at Death Punch. That makes sense. It's a straight line.
But to be the soundtrack that gets people through their day-to-day stuff and takes them away from daily goings on.
Well, you get me through some of the hardest stuff, like my runs. I'm a half marathon runner, and like I have a playlist,
nice.
and I have to listen to heavy and hard to like get that grit.
Slayer, Rain and Blood for me.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, it really Trivium is another big one for me when I'm running. Like you know, you have to have that passion and that fire. So you give that to a lot of people to get through the bullshit they're doing in life, or workouts, or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Your sweet girlfriend is waiting in the corner, and I don't want to take all your time. We really appreciate the time with you.
Absolutely.
I do want to say, Aftershock, you'll be there in 5 weeks.
5 weeks at this point.
Yeah. So maybe we can do this again and shoot the shit.
Yep. She's the one that I think we're going to be driving out and doing the
Bay
nature
Area
stuff
girl,
after.
right? That's right. What's your name? Melissa. Melissa from San Jose. I remember it. Yes.
Also a comedian as well.
Oh, really?
Like true comedian. Like I like to rest on my laurels being death punching. Yeah. Letting those doors open. She's funny.
Oh, check her out.
Yep.
All right. We'll have to link up your stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that shout out. That's really sweet. But we do always end our interviews with my favorite question of all time. It's from the movie Almost Famous. I don't know if you're familiar, but in the last frame of that movie, the question is asked, what do you love about music?
What don't I love? What don't I love about music? We were talking about all of this being up there and having to pull it down. Yeah. I'm so grateful that I saw Gene Simmons from Kiss on a show called 3-2-1 Contact way back in the day, because that moment was the impetus for all of this for me. Seeing him on stage in that special about Kiss's backline and the crew and all that stuff, that was enough for me to be like, I don't know what he's doing, but whatever that is, that's what I want to do. And I know y'all see my picture. My tongue is out in every single picture.
Yeah, there's some similarities there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that was the life changer moment.
That was the life changing moment. Yeah. Wow. So that's it's the universe, God, whatever that is out there, that connective thing. That's my connection with everyone. Yeah. Universally connected through music. Yeah. Whether it's listening to other bands, playing in this one, writing my own stuff as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's the connection. That's just makes everything fit. Yep.
And I was gonna say, music brought us Craig Gass all together.
Oh, we're coming.
And literally, Gene Simmons does an amazing Gene Simmons impression.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. By the way, sidebar question: have you met Gene? Have you had a moment with him?
Yep, that's in the stand-up routine too. Yeah.
Find him at his stand-up shows.
These are called teasers, my friend. Yeah, yeah.
Chris,
thanks to Craig trying to give away all my 15 minutes that I've built up in 6 months.
You didn't allow it. You had buffers and boundaries.
But I've been in rock and roll long enough to know about teasers.
Yes.
So giving.
That's good.
Dropping little pebbles,
little nuggets.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But no, thank you so much for making time. So go check out Afterlife, the deluxe edition for Five Finger Death Punch. Come see them at Aftershock October 10th through the 13th. AftershockFestival.com for tickets. See the full lineup.
Yep.
Check them out on Bone Breakers as well.
Always, they're a staple band for us.
And just thank you for being awesome, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This has been really
rad.
Thank you.
It's been my pleasure being awesome.
ChrisKael.com.